Any questions? Yes, sir.
Yeah, since we're at a Second Amendment meeting here, I've got a question for you. It's about a three-part question. I would hope the other candidates would address this, so I don't have to ask them the same question. First part of the question, are you an NRA member? Second part, if so, for how many years? Third part, do you carry concealed carry?
Very good question. No, I'm not an NRA member. To be honest with you, and I'll make it succinct, my brother is a state trooper. He's long been an NRA member. It's not something that I pursued. I pursued motorcycling as a hobby. I pursued golf and working on antique cars. It's just not something that I've had as a hobby. That doesn't mean that I never supported the NRA. I have had gun training through the NRA that I have taken. Somewhere at my home I've got a patch where I've successfully completed the safety training for gun safety. Thirdly, actually, I guess, because I answered the second question. The third part of that question, no, I do not have a permit to carry a concealed weapon. I have one weapon that I own, and it's not at my house right now. My brother has it. It's a 22 gauge rifle. But I do not have a permit to carry a concealed gun. My son has a permit to carry a concealed gun. He carries a little 32, I believe is what he carries. And that's where that gun shoe is going to go, is to my son, so he can have something to lock his gun. Yeah, that is exactly. The thing is, for me, I support it. I just haven't gone to the sheriff's department to get a gun to carry for personal protection. Personal feeling is that I've never been in an environment where I felt in danger. Oh, I support the rights of gun owners. I'm not a member of the. Well, I wasn't a member of the AVAPE organization until 11 years ago. Prior to that, I was riding a motorcycle, but I supported everything they believed in. That didn't mean that just because I wasn't a member did not mean that I did not support their cause. The same thing is true of the NRA. I'm not a member yet, but that doesn't mean that I've never supported the right to carry your arms. As a matter of fact, I'll go even further. The state's permit laws, to me, every state's permit laws are unconstitutional because they infringe on the rights. They infringe on our rights as Americans to carry a gun without infringement. The word is infringement, no infringement. And it doesn't say, oh, unless you have a permit. The final thing I'd like to talk about, the lady in New York, and it struck a nerve with me. How many of you have gotten a ticket in other states for driving ticket? Did they ever tell you that your driver's license was not valid in that state?
Full faith and credit.
Yeah. So I don't understand the concept of why, if you have a permit to carry a concealed weapon in the state of Indiana, why is not that honored? Your driver's license is honored. Why isn't your gun permit? So yes, I support those views. Yes, sir. I know you had your hand up for a while. I apologize for not getting to you soon.
That's fine. With Whirlpool losing their last 1,100 workers this year, and refrigerators going to Mexico, how much tariffs should we charge for them to sell it back into our country?
Mm-hmm. The first thing we do is we eliminate NAFTA. I couldn't give you a figure on exactly how much, and it's a really good question, but what we really need to do is find a way to keep these jobs here in the first place.
That's the bottom line.
I think, yeah, that's it. I believe that the way to do that is through tax incentives, to make sure that corporations that expand, that create jobs, they talk to the government all the time, well, who's going to create jobs? You know what create jobs is small business expansion. That's the only thing that creates jobs, when small business becomes bigger. And the only way for small business to become bigger is have some reason to do so. If they're in fear, right now they are, if they're in fear of losing their shirt, there's no reason for them to expand. They're going to actually save their money and save their expansion plans for a time when it's going to be more profitable for them. If they had a tax incentive to do so, then they might have more of an idea to expand right away. But it's a matter of keeping the jobs here in the country first. Yes, sir, in the back.
I just wanted to point out that we need to inform people that the United States of America has a 45% corporate tax rate, which is the second highest in the entire world.
And this is another reason they need tax breaks.
Fair tax.
Fair tax will do it.
We'll take one more question.
Yeah, sir.
What's your feeling on immigration as far as job-wise, as far as not only state but across the country about finding or doing something to businesses that are hiring illegals?
We need to confront and attack those businesses that hire illegals. They need to be penalized heavily. The simple answer is we know where the illegal aliens are. It's not a matter of talk about controlling the borders to get them in here in the first place. You know, we know they're here. We know where they are. We allow them to live here in so-called sanctuary cities. Those cities that exist in those states, their federal funds need to be withholded until they are actually deporting these illegal aliens back across the border. Let them go back home. And I'm a firm believer in deportation of illegal aliens. You want to be here legally? That's fine. You go through the laws that we have in our country and abide by those laws, not a problem. But if you're here illegally, you don't belong here, you need to get out. And no, and I applaud California. We do not have to keep them in prison. You need to just deport them right away.
Well, I was asking about business-wise, if there's not work for them, they would probably, in my feeling, go back on their own, because
Well, they might, but it's not. It's more than just the work. I mean, here in America is a wonderful opportunity. There's a lot of land here that they can. You know, there's hunting here too. There's people who fish in here. I don't know if you've seen this or not, but they fish with a pop bottle with a string wrapped around it, and they're pretty good at it. You can put a fish hook on a string. They don't even have a hole. But these people are living here because it's a better land to live in. It's more abundant. They can get handouts standing on a corner with a sign. The joke is, you know, there's a guy standing in a corner with a sign and it says, you know, we'll work for food. Another guy's got $10 bills being thrown at him. And the guy that goes to the other corner, he says, well, how come you're collecting all this $10 bills? You turn around, his sign says, I only need $10 to go back to Mexico.